All right, this is the presence of the engineered light on the ceiling. Okay, as soon as I walk back into my bedroom, and then I want you to see the engineered light that's supposedly the product of the sunlight. This is the demonic imitation of the natural environment. This is the environment that the Ontario Police Department, these are demons that are currently in the position of law enforcement. The Ovitt Family Community Library, they're not just liars that just want to make up information, which is clearly on its face a lie. These are demons that are lying to you, and it's relevant what the targeted individual is doing when you're in the midst of prosecuting that entity. The entity is engaging what is threatening your liberty, defaming your name, engaging in what is the fictitious authority, kidnapping you when they're placing you under surveillance, because the light source is remaining over the Ovitt Family Community Library as a matter of documentation between the hours on video, 8 o'clock in the morning until after 7 p.m. This is not sunlight. Neither is that sunlight, nor is that the sun. You're witnessing the demonic, okay? And the demon possessed are surrounding. The demon possessed are hostile to being exposed. The demon possessed are stalking in helicopters. And this is the same venue where the entity is also engaged in criminal monitoring on the venue of the internet. It is currently 8:45 a.m. on April 21st, 2022. I am on Route 66 going to the Montclair Transit Center. This is never any iteration of the natural environment. This is where the entity is aiming engineered light through closed blinds, which is then appearing underneath the window. The entity is engaging what is this engineer light, which is hitting a mirror and reflecting to hit the wall. That's the logical explanation for what is engineer light, and that's how you know it's engineer light. That's never happening. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is the evidence that covers all of the people of the state, all 59 units that are engaging in this criminal pattern of conduct, which is also underway in Starbucks. This is the light activity that you see inside of Starbucks, moving all over the walls inside of Starbucks, molesting my person while I'm inside of Starbucks, both 507 North Euclid Avenue and 706 West Holt Boulevard, and the Starbucks that I documented where the Montclair police were group stalking in helicopter as well. And this is at the intersection of Ramona and Holt. This is the pattern of conduct that's underway, and the entity is covered in the evidence of what is not sunlight. Okay, it has nothing to do with sunlight, and the light source is on the opposite side of this apartment. Hours from now, it's 8:46 in the morning, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 hours from now, the light source is in alignment. This is exactly where you see it right here where my finger is, setting, creating all manner of what is engineered light inside of the apartment. This is a concession by a demon-possessed government that is fully exposing the fact that they are indeed demons. This is psychological torture to the ordinary target individual. This is the prima facie case of a state of California and all of the people of the state. The environment is here because you're placed under surveillance, and it's the sex offense as well. All right, the entity is engaging in the pattern of conduct on an ongoing 24-hour basis. That's a demon that's crossing path. They're all going to federal prison here, all 59 units. That intolerable level of criminal assistance, and they act systematically with the people of the state. The demons that are engaging in a sex offense are living at Silverview townhomes, where the entity is flying in relevant position over me, over that venue. They're monitoring with them, where the entity is group stalking, flying over my apartment. They're monitoring with them while the entity is group stalking, flying in circles over building 1802, like you also saw. They're all in relevant position monitoring while the entity is flying for 47 minutes outside of my living room window, where you're also looking at what's supposedly the sunrise. They're all monitoring. All right. And I want to be clear. They're all on the opposite side, the federal government. You're talking about what's going to be a massive federal prosecution. None of that is sunlight. This is the demonic imitation, a demonic imitation. This is revealing what is demonic activity, what is a demonic activity that's serving a criminal system that is operated by a government. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is highly, highly malicious, and it's psychotic. And this is a demon-possessed population, and you can see it literally personified through the stalking with light behavior. And that's what this is. And the target individual is subject to terrorism, subject to psychological torture, while demons are keeping you under surveillance. And it is present, it is evident through what is the maintenance of engineered light at any and all places. This is also serving for what is a sex offense by virtue of molestation. And also, while you're physically indisposed, the entity is moving this engineered light all over the place, keeping you under surveillance, knowledgeable of what you're doing in real time. As Jay Burnett of the Ontario Police Department also exhibited and demonstrated when he engaged in kidnapping with Tracy Banks pursuant to criminal summoning. Well, he pulled out his cell phone and he replayed the audible activity inside of her apartment. The entity was replaying the conversation while he engaged in kidnapping me and taking me to West Valley. And this was a state actor, a very foolish one, who thought that I would not get out, who thought that I would never be able to tell anyone about it. But the entity is aware of everything that you're doing, everything that you're stating. You also know that by virtue of what is an actual, literally an impossibility. This is entirely demonic. And so this is the evidence. This is is how you are understanding and identifying what is legally relevant, federal government. The demon possession is legally relevant now because this is the means whereby corrupt governments are placing American citizens under surveillance, and they do so through demonic means for purposes of terrorizing you, causing you to fear your life, fear for your safety, and also fear for your liberty and your well-being. Because while they engage in targeting you in such ways which the ordinary target individual could not articulate, they don't capture evidence of this. They're just literally disconcerted by it, frightened by it. And then you have freaks that are lying about what they're doing, holding the hands of children and playing merry-go-round and flying, excuse me, not flying around. Well, the demons and helicopters are flying around, but walking all around and stalking and monitoring in every way, looking to the left and the right while they're in every way focused on you, stalking you, harassing you, engaging in what is making defamatory statements, even harassing you, and then also summoning the police on you for no reason. You'll have the entity arrive at your apartment. These are just tactics. I'm just giving you ideas. This is what the entity is doing. You see what they've done, and I've been documenting it. So you are understanding what is an even greater threat to the ordinary target individual who does not have documentation. The P.O.C. does not exist. Prosecution of a government for criminal surveillance is not yet on the books, okay? Engage ongoing impunity. They're all 59 units are going to federal prison. This is Lisa Chu of 1808. That was her son. He claims to be what is autistic. Let me be clear. Autism, some sort of mental. Marina Davila, this is a demon that claims to have a brain aneurysm. It has nothing to do with what is the criminal engagement and what is facilitating criminal activity. That is living at the crime scene. It's highly malicious. And they also engage in the pattern of conduct in concert with the demons that are flying in helicopters, that ongoing pattern of conduct. And this is, remember, demonic activity, which is, as you know, occurring with amongst those that are demon possessed, and that has nothing to do with what they claim in the physical with regard to some sort of issues such as autism. The spiritual condition is separate and distinct, and it's legally irrelevant. All right, that demon of Roger Chu, he's crossing path, and that's a demon that knows exactly what I'm doing, and that's why the environment is here. So you're, in other words, also what also follows is that you're not going to make some exception. Oh, well, that third party has autism. It's legally irrelevant, and those are the things that they want you to rely on. You're looking at the light activity, and then you're looking at what is crossing path. And that particular demon, I want to let you know what they claim. Oh, he's got autism. That is a third party group stalker crossing path, engaging in the sex offense, acting with his sister, mother, whatever that demon's title is, Lisa Chu. They're crossing path together. And Silverview Townhomes, directed light is all over the ground that they're driving on. Directed light moves across the wall, just like it's impossible light activity. Pay attention to the video, you'll see it. They're all going to be prosecuted, and the children are going to be removed from the possession of the people of the state that are engaging in what is a sex offense right now, committed by the entity. The white BMW SUV engaged in the same while LAPD was group stalking by helicopter yesterday. They did that the day before also while LAPD was flying in circles above me, crossing path. That's engineer light that's moving across the building while they're walking, doing something as normal, as what's supposed to be normal, as driving outside. But it's not normal. We're looking at the light activity. And it's also not normal because this is the neighborhood where the apartment in alignment to the target individual is present for 12 hours in a day. And it's also not normal because what you will see in video is light activity, which is the identification of a system amongst a demon-possessed population who knows every word that's being uttered. In Silverview Townhomes, which represents the people of the state, which is also the same thing that's going on with the people of the state going by the name of Starbucks, who are exhibiting impunity. They are exceedingly hostile. They are violent sex offending group stalkers, criminals engaging in monitoring and keeping under surveillance American citizens in that same way. The impossible occurrence of light swiping around the building of what is Silverview Townhomes while that demon is monitoring me while I'm inside of my bedroom and doing so. Let me be clear. The demons choose, oh, let me get in my car and cross path. They know exactly where I'm at, what I'm doing. You know that by the light activity. Okay. You know that by the maintenance of the light source in alignment to me. You know that by the simultaneity of conduct by the demons of the LAPD who fly over in helicopter literally in my videos. I mean, it doesn't get any more idiotic with regard to the provision of evidence when you're prosecuting the state. But they do that, and they do it in concert. It's not simultaneous. It's not coincidentally happening with simultaneity. You know that when the entity isn't creating flashing light on the wall like you saw yesterday afternoon. All right, you know that when they're driving an engineer light on the street, there's no sunlight that's going to be over Alvarado while it's remaining over me while I'm on the bus and arriving at the Montclair Transit Center. None of this light activity. All right. This is never, ever going to happen. None of that's ever going to happen. OK, those are multiple panes of light. OK, it's the shape of the window, and you can see it's on layers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. If you can look closely at that light activity, and it's absolutely, so you have it appearing on the inside, but then you have You have a demon that's located in a relevant position at Silverview Townhomes who's going to be prosecuted for engaging in federal group stalking and monitoring, facilitation of federal group stalking and monitoring, posing an impermissible threat by an entity engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, engaging in what is the terrorism by an entity engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. They're also engaged in Title 18 criminal conduct in violation of Section 22618 subsections 1 and 2. They're also posing an impermissible threat on an ongoing basis. But I want to be clear: the entity is engaged in group stalking is a violent sex offense committed by an entity. So you're understanding, and not to be too grotesque, but I have to, because you need to understand what the ordinary target individual is subject to. All right. And you need to understand that with regard to why you're going to enforce justice to the degree that you're going to, not only because the government is acting in concert with people who are intentionally in an environment when you're looking at clear evidence, and then you're supposed to make some separation. And that doesn't even make any sense. But nonetheless, that's the false premises upon which a corrupt government, a demon-possessed one, not necessarily intelligent. And you're talking about lawyers and doctors, but they didn't come up with the pattern of conduct. These are imps of Satan. Okay, your job in the natural does not equate what is anything with regard to superiority. There is no way that you would escape being prosecuted. And this is upon my observation of their pattern of conduct. It's just a matter of evidence. Okay, so I want to be clear. You have the entity that is engaging in what is a massive sex offense. And what do I mean by that? I need you to picture in your mind, just for purposes of exacting justice, not because it's something that I am